Hola, from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not as a Random Chat. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Well, I am actually sharing myself out because I don't think I gave people enough time with my, and I can't spell. Come on through. Let's see. There we go. All right, so now I have shared myself out. Hey, uppity unicorn. So I have, today has been a kind of it was actually a busy day at work, but I actually did get a chance to listen to the replay of several lives today, and I still have some more to listen to. So, I want to get out, give some shouts out to the people whose lives I was actually able to listen to thus far. Um, Shouts out to Bayou Bunny and Kizzy's Corner for their With the Roosters live. And it was With the Roosters for me because it was at a crazy hour for those of us on the West Coast. But I was glad that I was able to see the replay of it. Shouts out to my girl, Sister Love Wisdom, who also did a video and gave kind of her commentary on a similar subject. And I haven't had a chance to listen to the video by Faith yet, but I will. And then there's another video that Brother Darren Merriam put out today on why he will not hire a black person. And I want to listen to that one, y'all, because I want to see what his reasoning is for that. But the other videos were really around femininity, um, toxic femininity, and there's been a lot of talk going on lately, really, in these YT streets about, what is feminine and what is not feminine. And, you know, it's interesting that a lot of people have their, I guess, what they consider to be feminine versus what they don't consider to be feminine in a woman. Such as if a woman stands up for herself, is not a doormat, is that considered not being feminine? I don't think it's not feminine. I just think it's not being a doormat and being strong and standing up for yourself. That has nothing to do with being feminine, nor does wearing a dress or makeup. Those things do not define whether a woman is feminine or not. And you can be feminine and not be a girly girl. I'm just gonna put that out there, for ladies who are questioning whether they are, feminine or not. Don't let these non-cis women or men define what being feminine or female is. You know, yes, there are women who don't really hold to femininity or think that they're more tomboyish or tomgirlish, however you wanna put it out there. I mean, I was a tomboy, but I know I'm a girl. you know, um, I can put on a pair of heels and walk in them. You know, and I don't have to be wearing a dress for it to be sexy. How about that? You know, doesn't have to be a dress, and you don't have to be half dressed to be considered a feminine woman or sexy. Because I think the two go hand in hand. But it was just really interesting to listen to the conversations, and then the conversations about toxic femininity were also very interesting. And you know, it can there are women who use their femininity in a very toxic way. Not to uplift or to empower, but use it in a manipulative way. Hey, Adelina, how are you? Thank you for coming. So, I mean, you've got different people with different definitions of what being feminine is. But here's my thing: if you are a woman and you express yourself as a female, then I wouldn't consider you to not be, you know, a feminine woman. Now, if you are one of those women who go around emasculating men, um, male hating, or just dealing with something else, because see, there's a difference between being feminine and being a feminist. Okay, there's a difference between the two, and you can be feminine, you know, and it definitely has nothing to do with being feminist because the things that feminists promote really don't have anything to do with promoting femininity. If you really know what their true agenda is, so don't mix. But many people mix the two up, and they're not the same thing. And some of the talks that I heard, because a bunch of different people having conversations, male and female, that I've heard were, man, you have to wonder where some of these people get their information or their talking points, shall I say, in regards to it. Because as a woman, I don't think I would ever let a man tell me whether I was feminine or not, unless that man was in a relationship with me. And I've never had that problem. Never had that problem. You know, I was an athlete. When I was younger, I played, games with the boys. I would, but then when I got to a certain age, they didn't want to be my friend no more. And I was one of those girls who was kind of a late bloomer, you know. But when everything came, it came, you know. And I think that may be where some girls get their confusion because they feel like because they dress like themselves and how they dress is not what the world, quote unquote, considers to be feminine dressing, that they think that they are not feminine when it's not about how you dress. It's really about how you see yourself and how you carry yourself. You know, um, In the words of Adele uh, Givens, the comedian, I am such a effing lady. You know? But it's the truth. I am a lady. And there are many women out there that aren't necessarily, you know, what the world's version of feminine is. Because, for some reason, when they put out femininity, they seem to forget that black women are feminine too. And being feminine does not mean being a doormat, to men or to your man. Being feminine is power if you use it correctly and don't abuse it. I'm just saying. But it was very interesting hearing all of the different conversations and the different views in regards to it. And, I thought I'd put my little 2 cents in there since, for the most part, I'm an elder to most of the people who were doing the talking. You know, yeah, most of the people that I was floating around, um, yeah, a lot of them are like 10 years or more older than. So, definitely an elder. But I look good for my age. I do, I do, I do. I look good for the ripe old age of 57. Shoot, man, in less than 6 months, I will be 58, as a matter of fact. In less than 6 months. But this August, I'm celebrating having my YouTube channel going officially with videos and actively putting stuff out there for you guys about autism and about me for a year. And then also next weekend will be the anniversary of my mom's passing. And it will be 9 years. 9 years since my mom, because when my mom passed was when I started my YouTube channel. That's actually when I started it. I started it not too long after she died. And and the first video that I put up, which you can no longer see because it's private, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to delete it from my channel before my channel is up for monetization, was a celebration of life for my mom. Um, I may put it up on my Facebook page, for Chronicles of an RT Autism Mom. I might put it up there for you guys to see. But yeah, I had to take it off of my YouTube channel because it has copywritten music in it, and DC is not trying to have any copyright strikes. Somebody tried to, give me a yellow on my year in review videos, trying to say that part of my music was their music, but I know it's not their music because I had the exact same music playing during the entire video. So I don't know if I'm going to go back to that video before I go to monetization and just take the music out and just let it play with no music for the first 3 minutes. I don't know. I have to think about that. Got to think about that. I don't care if that video doesn't get monetized, though, to be perfectly honest. It's just pictures of me from the year 2019. And guess what? I'm going to do another one in 2020. Basically, a selfie review of me throughout the year to music. But I need to come up with like some really good intro music. I need to come up with intro music for when I do my not so random chat live streams. And I need to have some intro music just for my videos that's more personalized. I'm gonna have to talk to my goddaughter and see what we can come up with, because maybe I'll even do something where I'm actually singing the intro myself, guys. Talking about myself. Talking about, welcome to the channel, that kind of stuff. I've seen how a lot of people have done all of this, had special beats, and then they've got like these cartoon avatars that they, have on their videos and stuff. DC ain't there yet, y'all. I'm gonna get there. Hey, Six Figure Days. Yeah, but I'm thinking about it. I think about doing an intro and actually put a little of my vocals on there. Put a lick on there. Either, you know. I'm just thinking about it. How are you doing, Six Figure Days? I've been missing a lot of people's lives, so I haven't been seeing a lot of you guys around the YouTube, because DC's been looking at the replays of everything. Because I'm sorry, 9 o'clock in the morning is still 6 o'clock in the morning in California, and I'm up, but I'm usually not online. But I don't know. I'm thinking about doing some pop-ups early in the morning with my coffee, like coming on for like 20, 30 minutes, so that I can get people that I don't normally get, and doing more of those daytime pop-ups. Because I know a lot of the people that support me aren't able to catch me live because I come on so damn late at night for them. But for those of us who are on the West Coast, it's not that late, not that late. And I probably will be able to do my lives earlier, maybe for like about a week or so, because I'm not going to be rehearsing for anything, because we're supposed to be wrapping up this movie that I'm in this week. But guess what? There's another movie. There's another one right behind it. Yep, another one right behind it. But I think I have a much smaller role in that one. Yeah, I think I have a much smaller role in that one. So I don't think that, you know, and I don't think I'll have to, play something that's so far away from myself, like uh, a cocaine addict, you know. Because for that, I really went and looked at things like Jungle Fever and how Halle Berry was in that movie. For those of you who don't remember, she was a crackhead in Jungle Fever. And and just a word for those who don't know, she had to fight to get that role because they didn't want to give it to her because they thought that she was too pretty. So she came in there dressed like a crackhead and up to the audition. That's how she got the role. And but you recognize her in that, and she did a pretty good job, actually. She did a very good job. Sam Jackson did a good job because he was about that life at one point. Matter of fact, when they did that movie, Jungle Fever, he was not too far from being about that life. You know, it had almost cost him his wife, and his daughter. But thankfully, he got his, what, together. Did your god sister play in that movie? Yeah, it's so funny. I haven't. I think that's one of the ones where it's on. It's either on. I think it's on Amazon Prime, and they want you to pay for it. And like paying to see Jungle Fever. Some certain movies that, even though they're old as hell, Amazon is actually making you pay for them. Like I saw Cotton Comes to Harlem. That movie's from the 70s. And it was not free. It's a classic movie. It had a lot of classic black actors. It was during the black exploitation period, but it was still $3.99. I really wanted to see that movie because I hadn't seen it since I was a kid. So I broke down and paid the $3.99 for that movie. But that's because I couldn't find it anywhere else. I know that somewhere around here, I have Jungle Fever either on DVD or I have it on a VHS tape. And y'all, I still have one of those combination DVD VHS players. Isn't that sad? So I can still watch it. So what role did your god sister play in that movie, Six Figure Days? Did she have a speaking role? Cause I know I can find Jungle Fever somewhere. We know we can find it somewhere. Let me just tell y'all, about my little house hunting. I'm still looking, supposed to call the lady this week just to see if there's anything else that they need from us in regards to the one that I really like. But I've been looking at other ones, and I'm going to be seeing some other ones that are closer to where we are now, but a little bit more expensive than that place. So we'll see. In the meantime, we're going to be here on top of each other. She almost played the biracial child. Really? Wow. I remember that, yeah. That movie was a really good movie. That was one of Spike's really good movies. That's also the movie where allegedly Wesley Snipes was dating Halle Berry at the time. Allegedly, that was at the time that he boxed her ears. Allegedly. And allegedly, he's the one who is the reason why she has partial hearing in one of her ears. Because an ex-boyfriend did that to her. She never said who it was, but that's what the streets say. That was Wesley Snipes. I guess that was back when he was still dating black women. That man has some self-hate issues going on. I don't know what his problem is. Why he don't like his dark skin. You know? He does not like his dark skin. Yeah, she got partial hearing in one of her ears. And allegedly the boyfriend in question was Wesley Snipes. And they did date.
It's nothing alleged about them dating. It's just alleged that he's the one who did that to her. You know. So, but you know, she. You talking about David Justice? Yeah, yeah, we heard about David Justice, but she already had the hearing loss before she got to him. Yeah, she seems she at one point she was attracting abusive men.
She got an issue. She went
You
looking for
know,
it. She found it.
she don't. Well, the other two guys didn't. The two white guys, neither one of them beat. Put their hands on her. They just beat up on each other, which was so ridiculous. you know, and you know, both of her kids are biracial, just like her. So it is what it is. But she wants them both to identify as black. Isn't that crazy? Now here's the thing, you know, because I don't even want to, we don't want to dwell too deeply into it. But let's just say it from this perspective: she's half black herself. Okay, she identifies as black. Wonderful, wonderful. That's what you want to do. But girl, your children are only a quarter black, 25%, and you want them to identify as black. Because you only could give them, you know, they only, you half white, and then their daddies are 100%. So they can't, they can't at all actually. It would be crazy for them to identify as being black. Just say they biracial and call it a day, girl. That didn't make sense to me when she was doing that. That was just so crazy to me. You know, I understand, because of the time when she grew up and where she grew up. She's from Ohio. Okay? So yeah, she gonna say she black. But your children, one is half Canadian and one is half French Canadian and one is half French. Okay? But both of their daddies are Caucasian. 100%. So that was just her trying to get attention. Because that wasn't even about her kids. Because at some point in life, they're going to make that decision their damn selves. They're going to make that decision. She can't make that decision for them. She really can't. Not when she herself is a biracial woman. Yeah, we accept her as black. Yeah, she identifies as black, but we all know she's only half black. So, you know, she attracts a certain type of guy. I'm just gonna say, because most of the men that she's been with appear to either have been either physically or emotionally abusive, or both.
Like Turner syndrome.
So I don't even know.
Like Turner syndrome. Yeah.
Me, I'll you know I don't have to go through a string of men putting their hands on me or emotionally abusing me for me to have enough. That's just how I am, you know. And uh, at this particular point in life, hopefully she's done with all that serial relationships, serial bad relationships. And we know she won't be having any more kids. Hallie and Janet with these babies late in, life. Like one's 50, one's in her late 40s, having their last baby. Let me just say this. I was, I could have had a baby at that same time. I was still able to have a child. But your girl DC would have not been a happy person if she'd have got pregnant in her late 40s or early 50s. Child, how would I look having a child that is almost grown and starting all over? Crazy as a female. Men do it all the time, but women, we don't we don't do that stuff. Not in general. Not in general we don't. And especially not black women. Let me just let me just put it that way. Black women generally do not have babies after a certain age. Even though, contrary to popular belief, we can still have them too. We just don't. Because, in reality, having a child is a very dangerous thing. You know, Women still die in childbirth. And the later you have children, the higher that risk is for you. That's why after the age of 35, you're now considered a high risk pregnancy, even if you're healthy as an ox. Turn that flashlight off on there. My son has the flashlight on his iPhone while it's supposed to be charging. And that kind of defeats the whole freaking purpose of charging the phone up. If you're just going to keep the light on the whole time, it's going to take longer for it to charge. But he don't get it when I tell him he has to turn things off on his phone when it's on the charger so that it will charge in a normal period of time. Hey, 1SP. I see you still here. Did I miss you when you came in earlier? Oh, you hear me? Yeah. Did I miss you? Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. I'm up here looking at the chat. Okay, no, I didn't miss anybody. You just came in. How are you, 1SP? I've been listening to the replays of your Bible studies. It's like I'm still at work most of the time when you're doing your Bible studies, so I have to listen to them afterwards. Thank you for putting those on here. I like to listen to them. I still go to my Bible study at my church, cyber space, and a lot of times I have to look at the replays of those. But I like to look at different, you know, how different people do their Bible studies. Because I used to do one myself a long time ago. I used to lead a Bible study. Used to do one of those work Bible studies. Back in the days when, people would actually spend their lunchtime, with the Most High. They could, and yeah, that was back when I was actually in the office. But now that I work from home, everything, you know, and we're in the middle of COVID, everything is done virtually. All right, so am I talking crazy? Can you guys hear me cool? We good? We good? Everybody hear me? I have a teacher vibe about me. Well, I used to do a Bible study. Yeah, I did. I was a lot younger, but yeah, it was when I worked in the office, and we would do it at lunchtime. It was actually pretty cool. It was like 4 or 5 of us.
Get it together. Take the damn clothes out your mouth. Come on.
Yeah, we're dealing with my son is thinking. I think his head, he's about to melt down on us, and we're just not gonna have that tonight.
Go to your fucking room.
Because if that's where it's going, y'all, he's gonna have to leave the place. He's gonna have to go upstairs to his own space. It was nice though. Yeah, it was in that office. It was we worked. I worked for a bank, and we actually had one of the offices where we conference rooms where we were able to you know reserve that space so we could have our Bible studies. You know, and we just happened to work for a company that didn't have a problem with it. They didn't care. I rarely see things like that anymore, though. I don't know. I mean, I guess companies have prayer groups and stuff. I never even thought about that because I haven't worked in an office in so long. I mean, when I was in the office, I had people that I would, you know, if we needed to pray, we prayed. I remember we were having, we were working in a hostile environment. It was just very hostile, and I gave, you know, this the book by T.D. Jakes to all of my sisters in the office, you know, about working in a hostile environment. Let me see. Hey, opinion. Hey, opinion guru. How are you? Thank you for coming in. So I gave them that book. I still, I've given that book actually to a couple of friends when they were in those types of situations. Just because it kind of helps you to get your head right. And a lot of times when you're in a hostile situation in the workplace, part of the hostile situation may be things that you are doing that is making other people hostile, you know? Because sometimes us believers can, in the workplace, we can get in our feelings and we can get sensitive about things, you know, and it sometimes, makes other people react to us in a negative way. I'm just drinking some juice. Keep myself hydrated as I talk to you guys. I'm just looking to see what you guys are saying. Yeah, it is morning. It is morning for some folk. It's still nighttime for me because I am in California. So it is still Wednesday night. It is still my hump day, my middle day of my week. Yes, juice. Orange juice, as a matter of fact, 1SP. I'm drinking some orange juice. You know? Yeah, I remember I told you guys like this month I'm trying to not have certain things that I would normally have. Um, because we're doing the Daniel fast. So I've taken certain things out of my diet. And I like ginger ale, but I'm not drinking any ginger ale. I haven't had any ginger ale at all this month so far yet. I'm drinking more water. I was already drinking water, but I'm drinking more water. And I'm drinking juice right now. Yeah, it's Thursday morning, 2 a.m. Okay, yeah, you're back east. Yeah, my dad is in North Carolina where they've been like on a storm watch. It's been raining cats and dogs on the East Coast. And as a matter of fact, like the company I work for, some of our servers are in Florida. So today, some of the people's internet connections to the company kept popping off because I guess they were connected to the Florida servers. I don't know, 'cause I don't think I'm connected to the Florida servers. I think I'm connected to the Denver server because of where I am in the country. Ah, you're in Canada. Okay, but you're in the eastern part of Canada. Yeah. My dad, well, actually, yeah. My dad did his residency in St. John's, New Brunswick, or New Brunswick, St. John's, however you say it. I don't know which way you say it. I know it's St. John's, New Brunswick, or is it St. John's, New Brunswick? Because it was in New Brunswick. And so we lived in Canada um, for a few months. Yeah, we lived in Canada, in New Brunswick. I think that's the French speaking part of Canada. I don't think it was the English because my dad, there were people who spoke French at the hospital. Oh, I never said anything. Yeah, I was a kid. I was a kid. That was when I was a kid. I was a kid, and my brother wasn't even born, and my sister was a baby. So we lived in Canada for like 3 or 4 months with my dad up there. And that was a long time ago. Yeah, my mom, because my mom worked for the federal government, but she took like a leave before she changed. She was getting ready to change positions or something. I don't know. I didn't even think about how we were able to be living in Canada for 4 months and go back and then go back to Washington D.C. I mean, so I don't know. I guess the rent got paid for 4 months. I was a kid. I don't even think about those things. Now I'm thinking about it. I guess they had to pay rent for 4 months where we lived while we were gone. I didn't even think of it like that. my, no, my younger brother was not born yet. It was just my sister and myself, and my sister was a baby when we lived in Canada. But yeah, we lived in New Brunswick. I remember. And I remember we went, I remember because I met these other kids there that were black, and I was surprised. I was surprised that there were black people in Canada. I didn't know that there were black people in Canada. But again, I was a kid. Let's see, I was like 7. Yeah, I was like 7. And I didn't know that there were black people in Canada, especially in the French part of Canada. I mean, that was a 7-year old's mentality because when we were there, I hadn't seen any black people. So I assumed that they just weren't there. I just assumed they weren't there. And then when I did see them, I was like, oh, black people live here too. Okay. And I thought that they had come over to Canada from the United States. It was weird to me that they had grown up there. They had always lived there. They had never lived in the United States. I That concept was kind of weird to me as a kid, you know. And I'm like, I'm not even thinking about, I knew that there were black people in Africa. Don't get me wrong. I just, at that particular point, I didn't know that much about I didn't know that much about slavery and about, the things, obviously that we know now as far as the diaspora and where all of the slave ships went and stuff. So, yeah, but as a 6, 7 year old, yeah, my mind was blown when I found out that there were black people that lived in Canada and that had never lived in the United States. I was a tomboy when I was younger. Yeah, I was. I was also an athlete. I ran track and I played basketball, but I really ran track because I didn't play basketball in high school. I only played basketball up until the 8th grade. And in high school, I did not play because basketball and track season ran concurrently. And I just wasn't into being a two-sport athlete. It just was like that. There was only one person on the track team that was also on the basketball team, and they were the star basketball player. I could play basketball, but I was not a star basketball player. I was a really good hurdler. So I did the high hurdles, and I got my letter in high hurdles and track. I know one is P, but what I'm saying is, as a 7-year-old, I didn't know any of that. I didn't even know. I also didn't know that slave ships went to Canada and that some black people got there that way. I didn't understand about how some people went to Canada, you know, back in the 1700s when this country was being started. All those things, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know nothing about, African ships coming across the ocean before. Didn't know none of that stuff. So therefore, my mind was blown, you know. But now, obviously, as an adult and having been a person who sought out knowing, history of black people, yeah, I know all of these things now. Where my hole for me is that I don't know what part of Africa my ancestors came from. And, although everybody's doing these DNA tests or these ancestry tests and everything, I'm leery of giving up my DNA to get that information. But, it's like somebody in my family's going to have to do it. So I don't know. And I don't think my dad, the doctor, will do it. And it's really his family that I'm trying to get the information on, because we actually have a lot of information on my mom's family. You know, we know like my mom's family, part of my mom's family came from the French Caribbean, you know, and but on my dad's side, yeah, we don't know nothing about. We know how we came from. We know how our family came to the United States from Cuba, but we don't know nothing about anything. You know, we don't have that Kunta Kinte genealogy. Which, by the way, there's historical evidence that Kunta Kinte, the Kunta Kinte that Alex Haley claims is in his family lineage is probably not part of his family. But I digressed. He told a good story. He told a good story. The Aboriginals. Yeah, I know. I know the Aboriginals in Canada, and then they have certain areas that they live in. They have native land also in Canada for the Aboriginals. Yep. I have a friend of a friend that is Aboriginal. The natives of the country. I'm trying to see what you said. Oh yeah, no, we know that Canada, the United States, or Mexico, or South America. We know that neither North America, Central America, or South America, or any of those islands were inhabited by white people. But somebody was there. Every place that the Europeans went when they came to the quote unquote New World was already occupied. Already occupied. So they were immigrants who then forced our ancestors to come here. The slavery that perpetuated in the quote unquote New World was unnatural slavery. It was an unnatural slavery because most slaveries up until that point were because you were conquered. So the defeated people were either killed or became the slaves, you know, so to speak, or, territory of those people. And they were indebted to them. And everything that they earned went to those other people. But in this particular situation, our ancestors were forced into slavery where there was no war. And the people on the continent of Africa, in those lands that they were taken from, were partly responsible for it. You know, they allowed it to happen. And contrary to popular belief, as we well know, Africans had already come across the ocean well before the Europeans came. If they wanted our ancestors back, they would have fought for us. Because a lot more of people were taken than actually made it to the New World. It was like 100 million Africans that were taken during that time period. Hey, Terry, you know, and of that 250, around approximately 250,000 made it to this country. The rest that survived the Middle Passage went to the Caribbean and to South America and Central America. But make no mistake, Spanish, the Spanish took a lot more Africans than the English did. Let's not, they just don't happen to be in this particular country, okay? But the reason why I know we ain't never gonna get no retribution for our slavery is, think about all the countries in South America where those people are descendants of slaves as well. They ain't never got no retribution there either. I'm just saying. Reparations, when we ask for it, we're asking it for only us, you know, the descendants of the 240 some, almost 250,000 that came here. What about the rest of the people? The rest of the diaspora. The ones that were taken by France and Spain. But then again, how's the racism in Canada? How's the racism in South America? You know, where people speak Portuguese and Espanol. Yeah, I meant reparations. I meant reparations. Not, what did I say? Retribution? Reparations. Yeah, not retribution. I don't know why I thought that. Mm. That must have come out for a reason. Yeah, because maybe we do want retribution. Maybe we aren't trying to get reparations. That might be what our folks are trying to get. To be all in all honesty to y'all, that might be exactly what they're trying to get. But I don't think it's going to ever happen. Um, if it didn't happen when there was someone in there in in the Oval Office of color, what makes us think that it's going to happen now? Even though they're paying attention to us somewhat, do we think that's going to get us that reparations? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with my tongue? Well, let me see. We're at an hour, guys. Y'all know it's time for me to jump off. But I'm gonna come on camera because y'all know I always cam up. Hey everyone, y'all see me? I'm just chilling on the couch, leaning back. My son's gonna come over here and destroy my piece. Come on, just stick your head down. Just stick your head down. They can see you. There you go. See. Say hi. They see you.
Yeah.
They see you. They see your hands. Say bye.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye. I don't know what's wrong with him. Anyway, guys, thank y'all for coming in and just listening to me be a chatterbox for y'all. Canadian racism is a social class thing. Gentrification doesn't happen here as much. Yeah. I think that that will be something interesting to just to see what the difference is in how racism or quote unquote what we consider racism is in other countries. In within the diaspora. Just that would be something for me to study. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off of here. But until tomorrow, tomorrow's Thursday, because I probably will be on tomorrow because I will not be on Friday because I'm filming. Anyway, until tomorrow, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. All right, guys, I will see y'all. Peace until then. Bye.